Hi everyone. The tool that I have decided to present for my Adept Quest is Pinterest. Pinterest is free to join with a valid email address and free as a downloadable app in the App Store and Google Play. Pinterest is both a mobile and a web-based platform that's essentially a virtual pin board for those of you who are not familiar with it. It allows users to visually share and discover new interests and ideas by pinning, quote unquote, images or videos to Pinterest boards, while also browsing what other users have pinned themselves. So a Pinterest user can find pins from the web, or they can actually upload pins to share with others, their own pins. So there's a few main parts to using Pinterest, and I'm going to go ahead and go through those with you guys right now. The first step is to sign up, which I've already signed up, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign into my account. Hopefully that's the right password. And once we've done that, we're going to go to the home screen. So this home screen is where I can see some of what Pinterest is suggesting that I like and that I pin to save to certain pin boards. So there's some academic coaching things in here. These are just based on things that I have previously pinned or suggestions that Pinterest has for me. So the next thing we can do is create custom pin boards. So I'm going to my profile right now and to my board. So I've created a couple boards just for our purposes for this video, but this is where I will actually pin items to my own boards to save for later, to share with others, and that'll make a little bit more sense down the road. So to add a pin to my pin boards, I can go ahead and click on one, and I can save that pin, and then I can choose which pin board I would like to save that to. So here's all my boards, here's my top choices. Pinterest will kind of make suggestions to you, or I can create a whole new board if I wanted to. And then after I have pinned something, I can actually, if I would like to, I can invite other people to collaborate on these boards with me. So I can copy the link, I can find friends on Pinterest, Dr. Knapp, let's say. Maybe she's one of these people. Or I can just find people through Facebook or Twitter or Google+, so that's pretty cool too. So based on research, Pinterest can be used as a tool to enhance the learning of meaningful knowledge in, I believe, all of the 4C areas, so collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. So Linder, Snodgrass, and Kern from 2014 address a few topics relevant to Pinterest use. One of them is digital curation, which is the collecting, organizing, and sharing of content from the web. So the researchers consider this to be a creative activity that requires critical thinking and human reasoning to organize ideas into sort of collections. So through this, creativity and critical thinking are already being promoted among Pinterest users, which are two of the 4Cs, as we know. So similarly, their research shows that Pinterest creates space to allow for what they call lightweight social engagement and collaboration among its users. And Linder et al. Report that 4 out of 5 pins to pin boards are actually repins, which are pins that come from another user's board. So someone is pinning something that someone else has already pinned. And really, this is what the lightweight form of collaboration is, because these people are working together in the sense that they're pinning the same topics, pinning the same items. So they're almost doing lightweight collaboration. Another article I found was by Ottoni et al. From 2013. They discussed some of the ways in which Pinterest differs from other social networking sites, which allows for a little bit more creativity in our social interactions. So social communication and any collaboration in Pinterest happens really in the form of a user doing a few things. They might like another user's pin, they might repin a pin to one of his or her own boards like we were talking about earlier, or perhaps they might share a board with another user. So really, this is promoting social communication and collaboration. Again, the 4Cs, some of the 4Cs. So now let's revisit my initial claims with this research that has been presented. Pinterest can enhance learning of meaningful knowledge through the 4Cs. I will say this again. It promotes collaboration among its users to work together and learn from one another, promotes critical thinking in order for individuals to problem solve and find solutions, And Pinterest promotes communication and creativity in that users can use Pinterest to convey their thoughts and ideas in new, creative, or innovative ways. So Pinterest in action, let's look at some examples that I have. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my Pinterest boards, actually. So here's my boards. Again, I created a few for us. The first one I want to talk about is these two that I've built over here. So something that I know as I work with undergraduate students on a daily basis, they think that syllabi are the biggest deal ever. As soon as they get into a class, they want a syllabus. Quote unquote, syllabus day is important, especially for students because they want to get an idea of what is expected of them, what to know about the class, their professor, etc., etc. So my thought was, why couldn't we put this information into a system that they actually like to utilize rather than only through D2L or ELC or whatever learning platform is used? This might foster creative collaboration really among the other people in the class. So what I've created here is just two different boards for our purposes. One of them is a general course content board, which really we can have links to the syllabi, to the course homepage, to the course calendar, anything of that nature. And that just helps to be a little bit more interesting, you know? I think students might actually like that. And then another board that I have made here is just something called Week 1 materials. So this could be everything from Week 1, maybe links to everything from Week 1, just so students can access it pretty easily and from a central location. Another thing that I created on my Pinterest boards was an Adept Scholarly articles board, which basically these are all the articles that I reviewed for this assignment, and I went a little bit overboard, I know, but I wanted to get an idea of what the research was out there, so I actually created little screenshots of each of my articles that I read and provided a link to those articles. So this brings me straight to the article, and everything is in one central place, so it actually worked out pretty well. And it's easy for me to reference and look back at. And one more thing I just wanted to mention, I created a topics and education board just because I actually needed some ideas for one of my other classes for my final project, and this was just an easy way for me to gain some ideas. So I actually did use this in my personal life, and I found it really useful. So I think everyone should try it. One more thing I want to talk about, guys, is some considerations if or when you're using Pinterest. I will say that direct collaboration and social interaction is somewhat limited just because of the nature of the site. I would love to see something like live discussion boards or some sort of interaction where you can do a little bit more than just comment on a pin. Maybe you can send things and make like a little chat room kind of thing. I think that would be really beneficial to just foster communication a little bit better. And also, I think collaboration could improve if I could actually pin a Word document or a PDF file, something other than, it was okay for me because I knew how to take like a screenshot because these have to be images, but I think it could be pretty beneficial for students to be able to upload just simple documents. I think that could help in instances like during group projects or something along those lines. And just one more thing I wanted to mention before I sign off. I think it's important to understand gender differences in online social networks because Pinterest to me is something that's really kind of geared towards women, and I'm not sure if that's intentional or just really a stereotype on my end, but I think a lot of the promotion of Pinterest is based on like do-it-yourself projects and maybe like fashion or art or things like that. Some things that are just more geared towards women in our society. And really, I think anybody can benefit from using Pinterest. It's very valuable to have. So with that, I will leave you guys. Thanks so much for listening.